It's blowing an absolute hoolie. Oh, Lightman, that's appropriate because it's St. Patrick's Day today. So I'm in Roscollon in North Wales, and you're probably having all sorts of problems with the wind noise, and I apologise, but if you want strong waves you need strong wind. So hopefully you can see over my shoulder, and I apologise, I'm stood in a kind of weird position, but I'm holding onto my tripod. I've also got my foot in my bag to stop it blowing away because I don't want it to kind of disappear off down the cliff. But I'm just trying to get an image of this headland here with the waves crashing into it. So I'm going to turn round, but I apologise, there's going to be loads and loads of wind noise. So here we go, looking at this amazing scene. I'm getting battered in the face by my hood and everything. Make sure you appreciate your kind of waterproofs and stuff. So it's been shocking weather, real rain. Sat in the car for about an hour and a half. My brother is down there, Martin, and we sat in the car for about an hour and a half with just pouring rain. So the sun's come out now a little bit, but it's just gone behind some clouds. So looking at this headland and these rocks, and rocks in the foreground here, just it's kind of ridiculous to try and speak to you this in the wind, but there we go. Got my graduated filter in, and I'm gonna turn back round, see if I can do something about this wind. Hopefully that's a bit better. It's just absolute gale force, but just trying to get a composition over that headland in. And what I think I'll do is to try and get out of the wind a little bit. I'll just drop down over there and see if I can get out of the wind, get a composition looking more kind of south down the coast. And I've got an X-stopper filter that's 84.5 very kindly sent me, so I'm going to see if I can try getting any images with that. But challenge being in weather like today, keeping the camera still for a long exposure is going to be really, really hard, but going to give it a try if I don't blow away first. So I'm about to test the 84.5 X-stopper, which is the 10-stop filter, and I've come to a bit of more of a sheltered spot, a little bit out of the wind, and I'm looking down the coast. So just explain the process of using an X kind of 10-stop. So 84.5's brand is called X-stopper, but there's, you know, the big stopper and all, you know, there's lots of different names, but just explain kind of the process. So I've set up my shots using live view without the filter in. So you set everything up, you get your focus, you get your exposure, and my kind of composition is looking along the headline here. And I think obviously a 10-stop filter gives you opportunity to take images which are with a slower shutter speed than would normally be possible. It's quite bright at the moment, so you want to set up your image, but they tend to work better where there's an image with an element that is static, like the cliffs and the rocks, and there's a lighthouse in the distance, and then some movement. So clouds, water are perfect examples. So you get that combination of the things that don't change, clearly the rocks, and then the things that do. So hopefully what comes out of this image is a nice view down the coast with the rocks steady, but the water will have been smoothed out, and there's quite some big waves today, and maybe some movement in the clouds. So I'm also when you're using a 10-stop filter, you know that doohickey that comes with your camera on the camera strap, that's for covering the viewfinder. So sorry, it's a bit of a fiddle one-handed. So when you take an image, sorry, I'll need both hands to get that back on. When you take a kind of a long shutter image, light can sneak in through the viewfinder, so it's important to block that up. And obviously kind of the X-stopper fits close to the front of the camera. So I've already calculated my exposure. So the exposure, sorry, I've got two hands on this. So the exposure, making you look in the sky. So the exposure comes out at about 8 seconds, so that's 10 stops from where it was without the filter in. And I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, but I'll take the image and hopefully get a nice bit of movement, but I need 2 hands, so I'm going to put you down and then come back to you in a second. So I've taken the image and I'm just looking at it on the back of the camera. I think that decent effect on the sea, looks okay. Sky probably needs a little bit of work in processing, so you probably can't tell, but the water looks okay. The sky looks a bit bright, but that's because I've come, it's probably not an ideal situation. I've come here to take the image, but the sun is not quite at 90 degrees, so it's a bit too far around in front of the camera. But I'm going to kind of persevere with that a little bit. The other thing you'll find with 10-stop filters is you tend to get a bit of a colour cast, so you need to kind of process for that in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever you use. But yeah, it's working okay so far. It's probably, as I say, it's probably not the perfect conditions, but it's the best I can kind of come up with the weather conditions today. So just a kind of look at the filter, thought it's worth mentioning. So it's 100mm, fits in my existing filter holder, and I think it's glass. It seems pretty decent quality. It comes in a nice little carry pouch, and there's a conversion table comes with it, which I think is a nice touch, although I've got a conversion table on my app. So seems kind of it's a solid piece of glass. So, you know, if I could probably, I can look at the sun through it and kind of not blind myself. That's how kind of opaque the glass is. So seems okay at the moment. Seems to kind of so far, given the limited circumstances, yielded pretty decent results. Another opportunity for me to use the X stopper. So it's quite an impressive sea arch, called Bois Gwyn, I believe. Bois being arch, Gwyn being white, I believe it was, so white arch. So you can clearly see it's quite an impressive sea arch. You can actually, if you're super careful, get down quite low, but it's been raining just so much that I had a look and it's like a slide, so I'm not going to even attempt to get down to kind of the rock level, because I'd probably end up kind of taking a dive, and anyway, the tide needs to be in a bit more to make that worth it, but you can see the waves coming in. So just talk you through the setup for the X stopper. So if you look at the scene, I've focused just on the arch. So if you I'm not sure you'll be able to get a good view. So I'm focusing just on the arch. I'm going to try and do a panorama to get the arch in and kind of the end in. So I've focused on the arch and I'm on f16. And I'm going to take a couple of shots without the X stopper in, but I'll put in my graduated filter for the sky. So I'll do a couple of those, kind of the panorama, and then once I've done them, I'll drop the X stopper in, which just is kind of 10 stops, so it'll probably give me a shutter speed of 5-6 seconds, something like that. And you'll be able to do a compare and contrast, but I'm going to try and get it. The waves, you can see a big wave crashing now, but occasionally there's a big wave coming through the arch. It'd be quite nice to get kind of the movement of the water coming through the arch. And the reason I'm just focusing on the arch is because of where the sun is. There's quite a lot of darkness in the foreground because the sun's just kind of over to my left, and it's casting quite deep shadows, so I'm trying to avoid those shadows and the darkness of this hillside. And I came from up there, by the way, so going to give that a go. Be quite nice. I don't know where my brother's gone. He's up there somewhere. Be quite nice if he climbed along the top and stood waving, but maybe not. So going to do those, and I'll come back to you when they're done. So I've done the X stopper shots, and I'm hoping they turn out all right. It seems to be kind of on the back of the camera. It seemed to be kind of getting decent movement in the waves, the kind of a problem I've got, it's so windy, keeping the camera still is nigh on impossible. So there might have been some camera movement, even though, you know, I've done everything I can to brace the tripod and so on and so forth. So I have to wait and see, but I'll post them, and I'll post the ones I took with just the graduated filter in, and the ones I took with the X stopper in, and you can do a compare and contrast. But now I'm trying to get an image just of the arch itself. So I've moved slightly, and I want to see right through the arch. So I'll let you, so kind of her arch right in the middle, because it's the most important thing in this image. There's kind of rocks in the foreground. I knew the tide was going to be out when I got here, because it was high tide at about 4:30 this morning, so I knew it wasn't going to be, but I can always come back another time. About a third sky, but really got the arch in. I'm going to just drop down to f11, so I've pre-focused on the kind of the rock around the arch. Got a graduated filter in just for the sky, and I'm going to take a shot there, but I'm just kind of there's every now and then a big wave comes through, but it's a question of just waiting for the wave to come through. But I've gone kind of panorama on that image just to try and kind of show the arch, and it's one of those that it might work out as something in a, you know, somebody might be interested in it for a guidebook, or, you know, a geologist or something like that. There's a big wave coming now, so I'm going to try that. A couple of big waves coming through, so while I'm talking to you, I'm going to try and get that. So hopefully they're okay. Clouds are coming and going. Oh, there's my brother up on the, looks like something from a spaghetti western. He's about to kind of take me out with a rifle. So take a few more of those, and then we're sorted, and I work my way back up to the cliff top. Sorry, he's making me laugh. Won't tell you what he's just called me. So all done, I think. We're now Roscommon Beach, and I've walked up and down the beach looking for kind of inspiration, but I can't find any. So I think I'll call it a day. So hope you found that interesting, valuable trip along the coast of Anglesey. It's hard to believe, you know, look how calm it feels here. Round the corner, just absolutely horrendous kind of strong wind, but that's what gives us the waves. Hope you enjoyed the sea arch and kind of my first look at the X stopper. I should say, can't remember if I said at the beginning of the video, but I'm not getting paid or sponsored by 84.5 for that, but they did send it to me free of charge. But that wasn't on the basis that I would review it. They sent it to me free of charge because they saw me breaking my other filters and offered to send me something. So it's very nice of them, and it'll be interesting to see how the images turn out with that. I'll try it again on another video, but hope you enjoyed the first look, and thanks for all the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and you won't see much more of him in my videos because he's a complete distraction. And I'll see you soon.